Hi, welcome to Camp Happy Mail. Thank you for joining me today. Today we are going to do something that I have never tried before. We are going to take some napkins and make some cards out of them. Now, I know a lot of people have done this and there's videos all over the place on it, but I personally have never done this. But I have some friends that have been sending me napkins, not these ones. These ones are my practice napkins. But they've sent me some beautiful napkins for Christmas and for fall and for other holidays. And I've not made anything with them yet. So in the Happy Mail video, if you watched that video where I shared a bunch of mail, one of my good friends sent me a beautiful fall napkin. And I decided at that point, I need to learn how to do this. So I started to research different ways. And this is not going to be the last napkin video I do. This is going to be the first, but it's not going to be the last because there are tons of ways to do the napkin technique, and I'm going to go through them and see which one I like the best. So this is today's. Now I don't have everything that they used in their video. They used Ranger, it's like matte medium something or other, some kind of glue. I have texture paste. It has the word paste in it. So I'm hoping that maybe if I water this down. Now they did say that you could use any kind of, liquid glue. So I'm assuming I could probably water down some art glitter glue. But I think I'm going to go this route. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. This may be a total disaster, or it may turn out pretty beautiful, or it may be something in between. I have an idea in my head for what I want these cards to look like. These are going to be thank you cards. I do need some thank you cards for some things coming up. And I have in my mind what I want to do because the people I'm going to make these two cards for like fall. So let's go ahead and get started. And again, we are just playing today to see if we can figure out how to do this. So I'm going to take my napkin and I'm going to cut it into pieces. And to fit the front of a card panel, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, I'm going to need more than one square of this. So let me see, how can I best? So if I do it this way, I can at least get 2 cards out of this one piece. So let's go ahead and cut this. Now, the person whose video I watched, this was a Natasha Foot video, and she used the Ranger Multi Matte Medium. She also used another kind of glue, which I'm going to try in another video. But for this one, I'm going to try and use the texture paste watered down. And I'm just going to basically just do what she did with her napkins, and we'll see how it goes. So I guess you could say this is kind of a variation of her video because I'm not using the same kind of glue. So I need to separate these because she says that you have to just use the one layer. And I'm not sure that there's 2 layers to this. Let me look at the package again. 2 ply. Okay, so there are 2 layers to this. So we just have to figure out how to get to that, how to get the layers separated. Kind of like trying to open up a new garbage bag and trying to find the end. Okay, if you know an easier way to do this, let me know, because I am going to be doing this a couple of times. Maybe I'll get it figured out by then. Oh, there we go. There's the 2 plies. So we'll carefully pull this apart. Okay, now I wonder if we can use this for something else. We're going to hang on to this and we'll see. Okay, so she had a little cup that she used to put this in to be able to water it down. I don't have a little cup. Maybe I can just put it out on here, although it would probably be too watery. So let me see if I can find a cup. Okay, maybe this will work. So let's go ahead and scoop some of this out. I don't know how much of this I need, so we're just going to wing it. And might be easier if I just poured some water in there, huh? So let's try that. It's a little on the lumpy side. So maybe this wasn't the best kind of glue to use because it is still a little bit lumpy. And we definitely don't want lumps on our paper. But maybe once we start to get it out here, maybe I can smooth out the lumps in it. So basically I'm just going to cover the cardstock with the glue. And it's drying pretty quickly. My room is a little bit warm. So I just want to get enough out here so I can get my napkin put down on it. Okay, and then we're going to take our napkin and we're just going to lay down over top of it. Now she said not to worry about the wrinkles, that nobody will notice, but I'm going to try and get some of them out anyways, while creating some other ones apparently. Okay, so she did that, and then she put another layer over top of it, but not too much because you don't want to tear your napkin. And I am creating more wrinkles in this than what it had, but hopefully it will be okay. You just want to make sure that you get the whole thing covered. Let's get this edge over here. Oh, there's a big lump, so we'll press that lump out. Okay, so it is a bit wrinkly, but we're going to go with it. How do I lift this up? I can get under here with the spatula. Okay, so we're going to set this one aside to dry, and then we're going to go ahead and do another one so that I have two of these. And I'm just painting it on as quickly as I can because my room is a little bit warm and it's tending to dry a little bit quickly on my paper. Okay, and let's get our... Oh, I didn't split this one first. Uh-oh, this could be a problem. Because my glue is going to dry before I get this one split. I know it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now that I got this taken apart, separated from the other piece, let's go ahead and put the glue back out on here again because it did all dry up on me. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this piece down. And I'm just going to lightly press this down. It's still going to have some wrinkles in it. I think it's going to be okay. I really don't think the recipients are going to send it back to me because it had wrinkles in it. Has anybody ever had a card returned to them because the recipient noticed something was wrong with it or something they thought was wrong with it? I've never had any returned, so I think it'll be okay. So now I'm just putting the top coat of glue on this. Again, making sure that those lumps that are in my glue don't stay on top of the panel. And I am just carefully putting this down on the panel because I don't want to rip the panel or rip the napkin. Having trouble with my words today. Okay, make sure we got the edges real good because I don't want it to come up. All right. I think that'll work. Now let's go ahead and lift this one up. I'm going to move this one over to here to let it dry. And I'm going to go ahead and clean this up and clean this up, and I'll be right back. Okay, while these are drying, we're going to go ahead and cut the other pieces that we need for this card. So I'm just going to set these aside for now, and we'll come back to them. So the other pieces to this card, each of the cards is going to have a sentiment on it. And the sentiment that I'm going to use is from a Stampin' Up set called Simply Zinnia, and it says, "Thank you so much." So let's go ahead and get that stamped out onto some cardstock. And I'm going to stamp this twice because I'm making 2 cards. This is a red rubber stamp set, which means that I don't need the foam pad out of the MISTI. So we'll just take that out for now. And I want to leave enough space for the whole banner. So I think that will be fine right there. And then we'll do another one of these on this side. And I clean all of my stamps with just regular Dawn dish soap and some water and a microfiber cloth. Nothing fancy, but it works. Okay, now that we've got our sentiments cut, let's go ahead and cut out some of the decorative elements that are going to go on this card. And for that, we're going to use these dies. These are called Intricate Leaves. This is a Stampin' Up product. These are probably retired at this point, but you might be able to find them in the Facebook groups that are buy sale groups or on eBay. Another set that I highly recommend. These are so versatile. They're not ever going to go out of style. And they're just great little dies for doing fall leaves. And we've got, you know what, we've got a couple of pieces in here from another time that didn't get used. So let's see what these are, because maybe we can use these too. A white one, an orange one, and a yellow one. Okay, so let's save the white one. Anyway, so maybe I'll pull out some more glitter paper, because glitter paper will just add a little something extra. But I've also got these scraps of yellow and orange that we're going to pull from. So let me see what we have in terms of glitter paper. We do have some more yellow that we can use. There's some yellow and orange, and maybe some red. See if we can use up some of these scrap pieces while we're in here. We probably won't use all of this, but it's nice to have it out just in case. Okay, while we have the die cut machine out here, I also want to trim down the pieces for on the base that are going to make up this card. So I need to cut these both down. So that we can then trim them down further with the dies. And I won't bore you with the punching out of all the pieces. I'll do that off camera. And then we'll come back and assemble. So let's go ahead and get these each cut down. Cutting these at 5.5. That way I can use one as a card base for later. And then I'm going to cut this one down to 4.25. And then we're going to do the same thing, cutting this one down to 5.5. So we have a card base for later. And then we'll cut this one down to 4.25. And we'll save this extra panel for later. Okay, now for our pieces. So these pieces are dry now. They are a little bit warped, but we're going to fix that. I have an embossing folder here that is also made by Stampin' Up. It is called Subtle 3D Embossing Folder. I'm going to trim these panels down and we're going to run them through the die cut machine using this embossing folder, and this is going to give it a little bit of texture, which means that all of these wrinkles that are on here, you're not going to see them. They're totally going to disappear. So let's go ahead and get these cut down. This is one of my most favorite embossing folders by Stampin' Up. It doesn't give a crazy texture to it, but it's just enough that it actually makes the paper look like it's linen instead of paper. It's, as they named it, very subtle. And it's definitely one of my favorites. So let's go ahead and do this part of it. And of course, I don't remember the sandwich for doing the 3D embossing folders. It's a little more than that, so I'm going to switch plates here. I picked up this set because I struggle so much with this. I picked up these Spellbinders set. It's the Universal Plate System by Spellbinders, and it has a bunch of different plates in it, and they actually tell you how to set it up. So it's base platform, 3D embossing folder, and the adapter plate. And we may need to shim this because that seemed really loose. Yeah, so let's go ahead and shim it. That's much better. It is very subtle. You can barely see it there. You can see it better on the back. But it is there, and now the panel is flat, which is great. So let's go ahead and do that to this one as well. Perfect. And that actually gave the wood more of a grain to it, which is kind of cool. So what I want to do is I want to mat these before I put them onto the card base. One is going to be matted in orange and one will be matted in yellow. And as you can see, these are the same size. So these ones are going to get trimmed down. So let's figure out how we want to mat these. I've got two sets of dies here. One is the Lawn Fawn Stitch Rectangle dies, and the other one is Pinkfresh Studios, and this is called Folk Edge Rectangles. I'm pretty sure that this one cuts the size of an A2 size card. Let me grab my card base. Yep, okay, so this is the A2 size card base. So I want to do the background frame with this die, which means that I need something smaller for this one. So we need to see which one of these will fit inside of there and still give us the nice border. And we could probably go with that one. Okay, so now that all of our pieces are die cut and all the centers are punched out, we're all ready to assemble these. So let's go ahead and prepare our card bases. These are just standard A2 size card bases. I order mine already pre-cut, pre-scored from envelopes.com. That's just, I do that because it just saves me a little bit of wear and tear on my arms and my trimmer, and it's just a lot easier for me. If you don't want to do that, if you want to make your own, you can just take white cardstock, cut it in half at 5.5, and then you have two card bases out of one sheet of 8.5 by 11. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue our cards together. The first thing I'm going to do is glue down this part of the base. Maybe. Took the fine tip off of this. I sometimes have trouble with the fine tip with the art glitter glue. It just seems to clog a lot. Okay, and I will have to trim this one off because apparently this die is actually a little smaller than 4 1/4 by 5.5. And I glued that panel down on here and I trimmed it. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same with this one. My panel's back here. And it occurred to me that when I was lining this stuff up on here and looking at these, that my leaves aren't going to stand out so great on here because of the background on this. And I also thought that I might want some leaves that are other colors, like the reds. I know I've got the little glitter ones like this, but I also went ahead and I die cut a few others that are in reds, and I have some that are in like a coral color that I thought might be pretty. So I might use some of these on here, and I did all the punch outs off camera so you didn't have to sit through all of that. So we're just going to set these aside over here, and maybe we'll use those. But one thing I'm going to do to help this stand out, I pulled out a sheet of cardstock. This is, I believe, terracotta. It's just a brown cardstock. You could use any shade of brown, really. But I wanted something that would help these objects to stand out a little bit on here, but I didn't want to take away from the background of this. So I'm going to cut a stitched border circle to go behind this, and it'll go behind the sentiment as well. And we'll see if we can get this to come together. So right now, well, you know what? First, let's go ahead and cut these. And then we'll come back to doing the assembling on all of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this piece of paper in half again, so I have a card base to save for later. And I need 5.5. That's for later, and this one is for now. And we'll set our trimmer aside, pull back the die cut machine, and I'm going to do 2 circles. Now I need to figure out what size I want those circles to be on here so that they're not overwhelming and taking up most of the background, because I still want you to be able to see the napkin background. So let's see if something this size. So if this is our circle and we have, say, a couple of leaves and then our sentiment, yeah, I think that size will be a good size, because then it overhangs it as well. And we'll pop this up to give it some dimension, so that will help too. So let's go ahead and cut 2 of these. I opted to go with these stitch circles. I could have gone with just plain circles, but I wanted the stitching just as a little something extra, and it'll also tie into the stitching that's on here. I think the stitching just dresses things up a little bit. I think that'll go nicely because it'll pull out the browns and the acorns and the pine cones. So let's do another one of those. Can I get it beside it? I think that might be close, but let's see. Okay, that's perfect. And now we'll just set the machine to the side because we're done with this partner for now. Well, we're done with this for this card. All right, let's get these cards finished up. And I have nothing but bad luck with my art glitter glue. I don't know what the problem is with this, but more often than not, I end up with a clogged tip in this. And I unfortunately don't have my Barely Arts glue here. I may have to order some more of that. I was hoping to get through this bottle of this, but that may not be happening. It's just getting all gummy. Well, let's see if we can get this one to work. This is just regular Scotch quick dry adhesive. Now we'll take and glue these two panels down. That has a real nice texture to it from that embossing folder. I can feel it on there. It's very nice. Okay, and let's glue this one together. And yeah, we're going to make both cards at once. All right, now we need some foam strips or some foam squares to pop these up. So now I'm just going to play with the placement on these to figure out where do I want my pieces to go. And how about like that? And then maybe we'll throw a couple of these little ones in by the thank yous. Okay. So I guess what I want to do is go ahead and attach these to these pieces first. And to do that, I'm going to squirt some glue out on this piece of paper so that I can use my finger dauber to get glue partway on the back of these. Okay, and then let's do this one. This is the easiest way that I found to put glue on the back of an intricate die cut so you don't have it gooping out underneath and getting all over your project. I do rinse this out then and use it for other things. Okay. So now we just have to finish assembling. And I think we're done with the glue for now, maybe. Well, we'll leave it be for now. And I think I want these over here. I think I want these to go underneath the thank you a little bit. So let's go ahead and put the dimensionals on these. And these aren't dimensionals, these are foam squares from scrapbook.com. And I think I might double these up just to raise them up a little bit higher. And then that way I can slip the circle underneath them. And they'll be two different heights. You can buy the foam squares in higher depth than these. I like this depth because then I can not have so much elevation, or I can double or triple stack them and have more elevation. They're very versatile that way. Okay, so we want this to be somewhat centered. So I think we'll put that right there. Put this piece right underneath it. Lots of elevation. And then maybe we'll put that one there, but let's put this one together first while we decide. I think right there will be good. And then we'll put this one underneath it. And I think I put the, yep, I did that. Put the foam squares too close to the top of this one, so I'm having difficulties getting this underneath it. So we're just going to make the best of it. Actually, maybe we're going to do some card surgery here. I'm going to move these down to the bottom. There we go. That's better. And then this one, should we put an orange one out here? Yeah, let's do that. Let's get a little bit more glue out here. I don't need much because I only have 2 more things to do here. Okay, and just like that, we have our first napkin cards. I'm so excited. I didn't know it was going to be that easy to do napkin cards. Gosh, if I had known it was going to be that easy, I would have done this years ago. This is just one technique for the napkins. I've watched a bunch of videos on this. I've done a bunch of research. There are other ways to do this, but this is one way, and we are going to try some other ways in future videos. But if you want to give it a try, just do what I did today. Just super, super easy, quick and easy. And I really like how these turned out. And yeah, I'm super, I can't believe that this was a napkin. These were napkins. Now I just want to go buy all the napkins. But we're not going to do that. We aren't going to do that. I have plenty of napkins to play with. But that's, yeah, that's it for today. So, yeah, I hope you'll give this a try. If you've never tried napkins, it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. Oh, I thought this was going to be so hard. So hard. And I didn't want to mess up the napkins I had, which is why I've not done this technique till now. But I found some techniques that are pretty easy. So, yeah, so this is our cards for today, made out of napkins for the backgrounds, which is awesome. So I hope you'll give this a try, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.